Southwick, what have you seen from him, and what kind of the challenges does he present?
Well, he's a guy that I think has really improved as the year's gone on for them. He does a nice job of managing their offense, and it's a relatively complicated one with the personnel groupings, the shifts, the motions, the formations. I think he understands their system really well, but has improved as the season's gone on.
And what do you think the spirit of practice has been this week after, you know, you had a long break and then kind of waded your way back in, and now you had a game week?
I thought it was great. You know, I talked to the staff about it yesterday, but we had our Wednesday practice is typically one of probably the most difficult practice of the week, of a game week. And you think about, these guys started working in early August in double days and padded practices and gauntlets and all the stuff we did. And yesterday's Wednesday was probably top 3 or 4 spirited practices we've had all season long. So really proud of the guys. I think they're excited to play in the game. So they brought a lot of energy and enthusiasm yesterday. Obviously focused on the details of the game plan today, but even at the end today, they're excited. So looking forward to watching them play.
One more on Southwick. He kind of ran a little more as the season went on, it sounded like, and I guess how did they do that, or what? Is it that's similar? Or something?
Well, I think he's making the decision to run a bit more than he has, and sometimes that comes with just being comfortable playing and when to throw the ball away, when to run it, when to buy time and then make the throw down the field. So I think it's just him getting more comfortable playing the position.
DJ Harper remind you of anybody that you guys saw this year at all?
Reminds me a bit of the kid from Cal, C.J. Anderson, who's a good back. They're both physical guys. They run in between the tackles very well. They find their way to get the extra yards at the end of runs. So it's a good football player.
Their offensive line too is like a real veteran group, and,
right.
And I know they got a lot of guys kind of one-liners in there. What do they do well?
I think they do what they do. They're going to run. They're going to run the football. They're going to run the power play. They're going to use a lot of deception to run the runs that they like to run. But at the end of the day, the core of what they do is up front with their 5 offensive linemen. I think they play with good pad level, and it allows them to run the scheme that they do.
And they're forcing of turnovers. Any rhyme or reason to how they?
I think they're disciplined. I think they're a lot like our guys. They have really good athleticism, especially in the back end. The 2 defensive ends are good football players for them that can create some havoc. But they're disciplined and they understand their assignments, and then when opportunities presented itself, they've taken advantage of it. And so I think that in and of itself would be one of the keys in this game. These are 2 of the best defenses in the country at turning the football over. And so who can continue to do that, and then which team can be the team that can take care of the ball, I think will have a big factor in the ball game.
Is your personnel situation kind of status quo, or is
I think so. Yeah. I think we're the guys that we basically could get back to play or playing. The one that's not available to us is Jamal Curse from a special team standpoint. But outside of that, everybody else is ready to go.
Is that something new or whatever?
No, it's just he's been lingering with them for the last month, so we just haven't had his services.
And Trufant and Austin kind of
healing
good.
Up. Yeah, I think they look good. I mean, if they're not 100%, they're about as close as you can get to be without being that. So I think the time was good for them. Kind of a couple weeks of rest when we were focusing on our young players were good for those 2 guys to get healthy, and they both have practiced really well, so I expect them to play well.
I guess Fuimiano was the other guy who was at the end of the year.
He'll be good to go. Yep, it's good to go.